When I was about to move to Finland, I think I heard at least 50 people tell me, the only people who learn Finnish are Finnish babies and sometimes the missionaries. So I felt lucky to be lumped into the group that maybe would learn Finnish since I was going as a missionary. But Finnish is a really, really hard language. The grammar is so counterintuitive to someone who speaks English. It's very much a building block language, so words can change very much by just adding endings to them. There's not a lot of the same prepositions we use in English in Finnish. They have a bunch of different ones, and then some of them they just don't have. Like, they don't have the word about. It just is an ending that you tack on to the end of a word. They have certain forms of speech that just don't exist in English. Yeah, it's really wacky. As far as how I felt learning Finnish, it was hard, but I made the commitment to try and understand why I was saying anything I had learned from what people are saying on the street. So if someone had a phrase that they were using and I learned what that phrase meant, I wouldn't just learn it to memorize it so I could use that phrase, but I had to understand grammatically why it was formed that way. And as I did that, that drastically improved all of my speech. But yeah, sometimes people ask me like, how long did it take you to learn Finnish? And I still have to say, like, I'm kind of still learning it in a lot of ways, because there's certain things that are still really hard for me to understand. Sometimes here I'll look up the news in Finnish and try to listen to the news in Finnish, and it is super hard. Just because I don't have a ton of context what's going on, and I can't like fill in the blanks in my head. I have to be able to understand every single word when I listen to the news. It's really hard, but yeah, it's a rough language, and it takes a lot of work. One of the methods that I also used was when I had a colleague who was from Finland. I had two that were native Finns, and when we'd just be about our work, I would just say sentence after sentence, say, is this right? And they'd be, no. Is this right? No. Is this right? No. And they don't know how to explain their grammar very well because they just speak it. They don't have like a deep understanding of everything. But eventually it'd get to the point where it'd be like, oh yeah, that is right. And then I'd say, why? And they're like, I don't know. And then I'd have to pick it apart in my head, and then I'd try to come up with another sentence that was a little different. And if it was right, then I'm like, okay, that's why. And they'd be like, sure, we'll go with that. And that's what I did. But yeah, it was very much a trial and error process, that's for sure. This is sort of funny. I had my grammar book, and we called it Fred because the author of it was like Fred Carlson or something like that. But it's this purple book, and I would have like a pen, and after learning something, I would try and find it in the book, and it would be wrong, and I'd just like cross it out and write the real thing. And I felt really cool when I could be like, yeah, you're wrong, Fred. Like, this is how it's supposed to be. Or like, Fred, that sounds stupid. No one talks like that. But no, there's definitely times that I still feel like an idiot when I speak Finnish. It's hard.